Now tuned into the greatest.
So when that bag come, I won't fumble. I'm just stacking on the low, but hey, I'm tired of being humble. Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. Cause so we're not gonna have Metro S550s cruising. Feel like you winning on the...
But he really losing. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. You know, the first interactive sports podcast and a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you got something to get off your chest, you want to go ahead and let us know what you're thinking. Shoot us a quick take, 219-413-9405. And of course, we'll play your take back on our next episode. And then you got to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So basketball season is still rolling strong. And as a matter of fact, we got a lot of drama going on in the basketball season right now. So I had to bring a special guest here to help me out. Sports reporter, sports writer, Jared Bell, man. Hey, I appreciate you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you here. How you feeling today, bro?
Man, it is a great day to be alive. I am blessed to be here with you. It's always a great time to run with Manny Wilson.
I appreciate that, bro. It's always good having you on, man. And also, too, look, if you are listening, you got to check out his work, bro, because he's been killing it. He's been writing and stuff. And like I said, sports reporter, he's been on a website writing articles, too. We've been getting some cool features. So definitely check out his work and check out the content on therunusa.com. And then go ahead, drop the where they can find you too, where all the other work is. Go ahead and let them know.
I can be found on Instagram at jr.bell__ on Instagram.
Okay, bet. Yeah, y'all got to check him out, man. Anyway, so Jared, look, bro, we had some crazy things happening the past few days. Typically, I don't like talking about this stuff. I like straying away from whatever mainstream media is talking about. I don't like going on the same old, but I can't help but to bring it to attention this time. I mean, bro, all the beef between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James, what the hell going on with this? Like, this is crazy, bro. Like, I couldn't help but to bring it up and have a conversation about it. And just to give some backstory on what's going on. So it all started with, correct me if I'm wrong too, feel free to jump in. LeBron and Stephen A., when LeBron confronted him courtside and was telling Stephen A., keep my son name out your mouth and, you know, don't talk nothing about my son. You can say stuff about me, but don't say nothing about my kid. Then Stephen A. kind of went on every network possible and went to explain his case and explain his side of why he wasn't wrong. And this is a slippery slope because it continued to go on because Brown, he showed up on ESPN kind of dropping bombs, spilling the beans, and I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't mad at it at all. Then this is the latest, we get Stephen A. Smith saying if he would have put a hand on me, I would have swung on him. So, bro, all the drama, what the hell is up with this, bro? Like, come on, man.
I don't know. So Stephen A. Smith has been in the business of covering sports for a very long time, and he's no stranger to controversy, in my opinion.
This is fact.
It was one thing that Stephen A. Smith, that brother knows how to strike a nerve, whether it's with athletes, whether it's with fans. It could be your mama, your daddy. So Stephen A. Smith know how to rub somebody the wrong way. So talking about the man's son, while he's having one of the greatest 40-year-old seasons in the world, but you choose to talk about his son, I think that's pretty crazy.
I think it's a low blow, and I think this is a bigger problem in the NBA, which we'll discuss. We'll get to this in just a second. But, you know, Stephen A. definitely rubbed people the wrong way. 1 minute he's saying, you know, Brian isn't this, he isn't that, and then now he's apologizing. Then he's talking about, I would have swung on him. Then he's like, oh, it was my bad. I went too far talking about his friend. And like, we're seeing a lot of back and forth of, oh, okay, you say this bold statement, then you renege on your statement. Like today, it was the whole, oh, you didn't attend Kobe's funeral. You didn't go to D Wade's retire. Then he put out a tweet, oh, you know, my bad. I rescind my statement. And like, come on, man. Like, stand on business. That's all. That's my perspective on it. Stand on business. If you wouldn't say it to the man's face, then don't go up to him, saying it in person, and don't go say it when he's not around. That's my whole thing, and that's the way I look at it. And I think in today's era, sports media has gotten so comfortable with saying things behind a microphone or saying things behind closed doors that they wouldn't even dare say to players in front of their face or in the same room. So that's my perspective on that. So Brian going on that Pat McAfee show and kind of airing out all of the dirty laundry, I'm loving it. I'm loving every second of it.
You're about to say in this age of the NBA, so not only do those guys behind the microphones have a voice, but now the NBA players are in the media heavy.
This is
they're
true.
Going on podcasts. They got their own podcast. They're making guest appearances, and they're making their voice heard. So when something rubs in the wrong way, they are very liable to respond.
This is so true, bro. This is probably the era, the emergence of athletes using their voice the most because they are jumping on these podcast platforms and they're creating their own podcast platforms. So it's like, this is definitely not the time to be saying stuff and expecting someone to just let it fly. And that's kind of my whole thing with the LeBron situation is like, bro, Bron has spent 20 plus years in the league. He's letting everything fly for the past 20 years. All the craziness that people have said about LeBron, he's let it all fly. So I love the fact that now he's more outspoken about it. And I love the fact that, hey, Stephen A., you kind of crossed the line talking about his kid, whether his kid is a professional or not. But you crossed the line just a little bit saying some things about his kid. And that was the final straw for LeBron. It set him off. Apparently it set him off. So I'm content with whatever reaction LeBron is giving, whatever he's saying on these platforms, it's well-deserved. The man has been quiet for 20-plus years. He's allowed to say whatever the hell he wants now at this point. So that's how I look at that situation.
Bron said it perfect. He said, my job is to protect my household. The James brand, the James fam, that's his brand, that's his household.
This is true. This is so true. So look, all right, now let's go into some of the stuff he was saying, because not everybody might have heard all that LeBron was mentioning when he went on the Pat McAfee show. So I'm going to just throw a couple of things out there just to give you guys an idea. He said, not verbatim, he didn't say it. I'm about to paraphrase like crazy. I'm going to paraphrase. So he mentioned the NBA lottery, Cleveland getting the first pick in 2003 could have possibly been a little rigged. I ain't saying it is, but again, he didn't say it was. He was just paraphrasing and saying everything just worked out too perfect for Cleveland to get the number one pick and he get drafted to his hometown. He just seen some similarities there and still continue to see similarities as Derrick Rose was drafted. And you look at, what was the other name? I think it was Patrick Ewing as well with the Knicks. Yeah, just like some similarities there. Not saying there's rigged. That was one of the things. He said Boston Celtics, Big Four, no longer a Big Three, because they had Rondo. Rondo has been a dog. I've always felt this way. I can agree with that. He also commented on Brian Windhorst, the sports reporter. He said, these guys are weird. They say he's my best friend, but he's weird. What else am I missing? I know it was a bunch. I know he said a lot of different things on there, man. And I will play the audio, but it would be a lot of in between on there. We got the response of Stephen A. saying he would have swung on him. Absurd. Just ridiculous.
Absolutely absurd.
Ridiculous. But to cap all of that off, LeBron hit a game winner in the night. So he went on Pat McAfee, got to talking his talk a little bit. And then after he went on then played the game and then hit a game winner. So my thing here, he said all of this. The thing that stuck out to me most was probably the Boston Celtics thing, Big Four. Where do you stand on that? Like, was that something that was crazy? Or was any of the above that he said on Pat McAfee like something that was just crazy or anything that stand out to you? Where you like, maybe he might have been a little bit wrong right here?
I'll be tuning into LeBron's content from his podcast with JJ Redick to the shop, you know. And so Bron can be a bit of a yap, but he wasn't lying in this one. Rondo was a great player for that Boston Celtics team. He really brought them together. He was the piece they needed to put them over the top.
This is facts. And he was a true guard for the team that had, a crazy amount of talent on it. And, man, that Celtics team, the Celtics team was just, it was a great team. It's the most milked championship ever in NBA history, but they were a great team. And I can agree that, Rondo did play a huge part in that. So I get that. And, one of the things I think that stood out to me was probably the comment on Brian Windhorst. saying like, these media guys are weird and stuff. And I also seen him elaborate more on just like sports media saying how, sports media people have gotten so comfortable and gotten too comfortable talking about the athlete. And that was something like, man, I really stand on that, because now it's to me, it's cool that we're in the era of opinionated journalism and opinionated type of takes. That's all cool. But my thing is like, can we expand on those horizons a little bit? Can it not be the same thing that we're hearing every single day? Can it not be the same narrative that we've been talking about for the past 20 years every single day? Like, it's time to switch it up a little bit and at least just like open your eyes and look around the room rather than just focus on the same thing we've been talking about for the last 20 years. That's my stance on it. And like guys critiquing everybody, or the media critiquing everybody, that's cool. That's supposed to be there. That helps elevate people. But I kind of just stand on the side of don't say things you wouldn't say to this person in the room if they're not there. Like if you're behind a microphone, if you're in a different space, don't say what you wouldn't say to their face. Like that's just how I feel about that. So, I'm glad he did it. Above all, I'm glad he went on there and he got to talking what he had to talk about. So, anything you want to add to that, man? Just in general about, Brian going on ESPN and kind of showing his behind?
No, man, whether you're a journalist, you're an athlete, it's all about respect at the end of the day. These are people. They are not their jobs. It's about respect. It's about man-to-man respect at the end of the day.
This is very true. Definitely about respect. All right, now speaking of respect, it's some teams, man, in the NFL. We're going to switch gears just a little bit. It's some teams that was handing out some disrespectful contracts. And I guess disrespectful to the fans, maybe. But we'll elaborate it. We'll figure out what I mean by disrespectful in just a sec. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. Jared's still going to join me on the next segment, so stay tuned. We got some more for you. It's The Run. It's halftime. All right, man, welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. I'm still here with my special guest, Jared Bell, sports reporter. And, we got to talk about some of these contracts that happened in the NFL, because we've seen some new guys go to new places, some new scenarios. One of those guys starting with the New York team and the Giants. Now, the New York Giants, those boys handing out some money to possibly good quarterbacks, possibly bad quarterbacks. So the news here was Russell Wilson is now a New York Giant. He previously played in Pittsburgh, but he signed a one-year deal, $21 million with the New York Giants, and they're giving him $10 million guaranteed, a crazy amount of money. And then they also signed Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston signed a contract with the New York Giants as well, and I believe his was for $8 million. We're going to get a fact check on that in just a sec, don't worry. But they got two quarterbacks in that QB room. Jared, what you think about that, bro? Because to me, I got some things on it, but I'll let you go first. What do you think about this new addition to their quarterback room?
For the purposes, I'm not a Giants fan by any stretch of the imagination. So I understand the move. You're getting known commodities at quarterback. You're getting quarterbacks that have played in the league for a long time, that have done a lot of great. You have Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion. Have Jameis Winston, the only man to throw 30 touchdowns and 30 picks in a season. But you know you're getting a leader. You know you're getting a quarterback that has played at this level. He knows how to be a pro. He knows how to be a leader of men. And I guess that's what they wanted leading their team.
Yeah, weird move to me, man. Weird move. I think both ways is a weird move. And to me, for the Giants to be in a situation that they were in where they could possibly draft a solid quarterback, for them to say, hey, we're going to go with an aging Russell Wilson and we're going to go with the Jameis Winston that has clearly proved to be inconsistent. Like, to me, Giants are just still making moves that's irrelevant, and they're making moves that's not going to actually help them turn their season around. Like, I get the Jameis Winston move, and I'm not upset about the Jameis Winston move, actually, because I think Jameis still has a place in this league to be a solid backup quarterback. But the fact that you go add Russell Wilson to be your starting quarterback now, or to even make it a quarterback duel, whatever, whoever's going to be the starter, it's nothing that's going to be that dramatic of a change where I'm like, oh, you got to watch out for the Giants now. Like, that's what I don't understand about this.
So when they released Daniel Jones, who had, I would say, another year 2 years on his contract, but a huge $20+ million cap hit. I thought they were going full reset. So in my head, I really wanted to see Shedeur Sanders go to that Giants market.
Oh man!
If any quarterback in this draft is equipped to handle the scrutiny, to handle that platform, and has been in the spotlight like that, it's Shedeur Sanders.
You think Shedeur has? Really excited for that. You think Shedeur has the mental toughness and just? You think he got the thick skin to survive as a New York Giants quarterback?
Absolutely.
I can't stand behind that. I don't think so. I feel like any media or anywhere he's gone, yes, he's caught the scrutiny from a national scale, and he's caught the scrutiny, and he's got a lot of attention, of course. But ultimately, he's had the home-based fans to protect him from the national scrutiny that he's ever faced. But when your home-based fans are the ones scrutinizing you, and your home-based fans are the ones booing you and telling you you suck, we made a mistake, why would you draft Shedeur? Like, I think it's just a little bit different. And that's like things that's going to happen in New York if he were to become the quarterback, if they went the route of drafting him, obviously. So I don't know about him being able to have the thick skin to survive in New York.
Well, Shedeur Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes, along with Travis Hunter and Coach Prime, were the biggest story in college football these past few years. So he's dealt with a lot of scrutiny. Anytime they lose a game, they had the target on their back. He knows what it feels like to have a target on his back. This
is true. So, this is what I also think about, though. A lot of times he had the target on his back. He put the blame elsewhere. It was rare. It was rare that we ever heard, and I would love for anybody to show me a clip or something. It was rare we ever heard Shedeur Sanders say, hey, hey, I fucked up. I messed up this game. I didn't throw my best. I missed a couple throws I should have done. My O-line did this. It was always the opposite. It was, fuck, my O-line can't block. They suck. They need to get it together. Receivers just need to catch the ball. It seemed like he was always deflecting. And I like Shedeur. I think he is a great quarterback. He could definitely turn the Giants around. And I think he has a bright future ahead of him in the NFL before anybody gets it twisted. But I just don't know if the New York media would be able to support him and coddle him in a way that we've seen Colorado do, in ways that we've seen Jackson State do. I don't know if they would do that for him. And I think that would ultimately just tear down the bridge of front office to player relationship.
He's more so a victim of who his father is.
Okay.
His dad has the bravado. His dad has the confidence. His dad has the image, and so he tags along right with that. He's like, yeah, I'm the son of Coach Prime. I'm the son of he really leans into that.
This is
so
true.
I feel like that bodes well, making him polarizing. You either love him or you hate him.
This is true, and I think that goes a long way too, because it's like, well, obviously, a lot of people didn't like his dad. A lot of people ain't like prime time when he was playing. And then a lot of people don't like Shedeur. Just because the confidence that they have in their game, as they should, as professional athletes, they should definitely have that confidence. But a lot of people don't like that. So I get that. And I just don't know, man. I don't know if he would survive in New York. And I also got some inside information. I wouldn't dare share it because I didn't ask for permission. I'd probably tell you off air, but I didn't get the permission from this person. So I'm not going to share this information. Anyway, but they signed Russ instead. And they got Jameis as a backup. Do you see who's the starter here? Jameis, by the way, signed a 2-year deal for $8 million. And it looks like it's going to be it's actually no guarantees from what I see right now, but he signed a 2-year deal, $8 million. And that's pretty cheap for Jameis. But do you see Jameis being a starter? Do you see him beating Russell Wilson for this quarterback spot?
Jameis Winston will put up a valiant fight for that QB1 spot. Russ is the veteran. Russ has the longer resume. But he's not fully what he was in Seattle. So
yeah.
Everybody's learning a new system. Everybody's learning a new playbook. Everybody's learning a new offense. So whoever can operate in this offense, Brian Dable's offense, the best will be the starting quarterback.
Okay, yeah. I just don't know. So like with the draft and everything, obviously Giants got a great pick, and I kind of don't know which direction they'll go in at this point, because so many people thought, oh, it's going to be Cam Ward. It's going to be Shedeur Sanders. It's going to, like, now you open up that room of like, I doubt they take a quarterback because no quarterback is going to come in, to any team trying to be third string and trying to fight for a position to be the second string quarterback and stuff like that. So now I'm like, what area is the Giants even going to go to? And for me, I'm like, obviously they got neighbors there. They could possibly still try and go to another receiver, or maybe this is the draft for edge rushers. So they go in that direction of trying to solidify an edge on the defense. But do you have any idea of where the Giants might go come draft day?
I'm gonna follow Phil's best player available. There are some great defensive players in this draft.
Yeah.
There are some very dynamic athletes and guys that can make plays, specifically at the cornerback spot with Will Johnson from Michigan, who's coming off an injury, but he's a very promising prospect. Of course, Travis Hunter, depending on whether he goes 1 or 2. If he drops down to 3, I would be hard pressed to see the New York Giants passing on that type of a player.
Travis Hunter, that would be interesting. And they got the 3rd pick, so it's kind of up in the air. You don't really know where exactly they'll go, but that's the Giants. Giants made some moves, and they're not the only team. So this is an interesting one here too. So the New England Patriots, they just spent a bag. Boy, they just came out some bread for Stephon Diggs. They signed him to a 4-year, $69 million deal. Mind you, Stephon Diggs is coming off an injury. So immediately when I seen this, I said, what the hell is wrong with the Patriots? To me, it seemed like they were saying, hey, we got the money. We're going to spend it when we're going to take this player just so you can't have him, because that's a win-now move signing Stephon Diggs for that much money. But I just don't have faith that he's going to make that much of an impact for that long, 4 years, especially coming off the injury like he's doing. So weird move to me for the New England Patriots. What do you think about that?
Just like you said, it is a win-now move. So granted, you may not think the Patriots are not in win-now mode. They're in rebuild mode. But maybe with the hiring of Mike Vrabel, they're in win-now mode. They're saying, how can we get the best and have the best results this season? We have our young quarterback in Drake May, who had a promising rookie season, and now we're going to invest in him by getting him a proven weapon.
Okay, I'm mad at that. See, that aspect of it is nice, because obviously Patriots struggled. They didn't really have many offensive pieces to help out Drake May. So that aspect of it is nice. We get to finally see him in action with a solid wide receiver. Now, the thing I know you have the money. This is where I'm stuck, because I know you have the money for the Patriots and you can pay for whatever talent you want to get there. But I just think it could have been somebody else. I think it was better talent out there that you possibly would have been able to get, or you could have just held on to the money and wait for next season. Wait for next season to find another weapon. It's going to be somebody that's unhappy during the regular season, how it always is. Come week 6, week 7, they're going to be crying about wanting to leave their hometown. And then that's when you drop the bread or you drop a trade, get rid of some draft picks, whatever, and you have the cap space to attain that big contract. So that's kind of where my mind goes in terms of spending all that money on one player and a guy who's, realistically speaking, on the back end of his career. Still effective, but on the back end of his career.
I think it's a little bit too early to say that for Stephon Diggs. I'm not gonna lie. Granted, he did run into some injuries. He's been bouncing around a little bit, trying to find the best fit for him. But I still think he's a great player. I still think he has a lot to contribute to any team he's on.
For sure, a great player.
Yeah,
I mean, he's for sure a great player, but he's 31. In NFL years, that's old, bro. Like, come on, man. Let's be honest. NFL years, your exit, you standing right at the front door getting ready to leave, bro. 31 years old, at any position other than quarterback, to me, you're on the back end of your career. You can still be good. You can still be a vet, but that's exactly what you are, a vet. You're not worth $69 million for 4 years. Bro's 31 right now. So he's 30. Let's do it. He's 31 right now. 4 years from now, he's going to be 35, bro. He's retiring with the Patriots pretty much. He solidified he's not going to ever be an NFL champion. And he said, I'm going to just go out with the bag, which is cool. But for the Patriots, I don't want to, if I'm trying to win now, I don't want a guy who's 34, 35. And I guess you maybe could say now injury prone as my start receiver.
Well, I mean, I feel like that experience that he has is invaluable. So his job as the vet is to bring along that young quarterback, bring along that young wide receiver room, that whoever they decide to draft, whoever they decide to pair with him. So I could really say if they have the money, they felt like that experience and that role on the team was invaluable.
Okay. Well, we're gonna see how it works out, man. And obviously, it's still early because it's barely the off season yet. Free agency just started to kick off, so that's why we've seen a bunch of different things happening. But Jared, man, look, man, let the people know where they can find you. Throw your socials out there, throw all your information, let them know where they can find your writing, and just more of you if they want to get involved.
Yeah, so definitely start with Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at jr.bell__ on TikTok at OneTakeJB, and even on LinkedIn at just go ahead and search Jared Bell over there on LinkedIn. Connect and network with me.
Yeah, definitely go check it out. Check out his work again, also too on therunusa.com. You got to see some of the articles he's writing, man. It's definitely some good stuff here. And then also too, if you got a quick take, if you want to comment on anything that we mentioned, go ahead, shoot us a quick call, 219-413-9405. And of course, we'll play your take back on the next episode. But follow us on the Instagram as well at The Run Podcast. Follow the personal at I am Manny Wilson, but TikTok at The Run Podcast, YouTube at The Run Podcast, all of that stuff. And share this with a cousin, a brother, uncle, niece, nephew, co-worker, friend, family member, whatever. And I'm gonna keep it simple on a positive note as we get up out of here. Positive note is just gonna be, man, be grateful. Just be grateful. Just be grateful for the things you got, because your situation can always be worse. And just think about where you were at times where you wasn't so happy, or, if you're going through that, be grateful that it's not as bad as it could be. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Other than that, look, man, we'll be back later on next week. Cause shit, it's about to be Friday. What you got going on this weekend, man?
Well, not much, man. Just working. I'm working the weekend.
I feel that. I work Sunday, so I'll be working also. But yeah, that's all we got for y'all. So definitely appreciate y'all for kicking it, hanging, and we'll be back later on next week, and so on and so on and so on.